Hello, 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 and welcome to the Pico Show with me, Andy Marfs. How is everyone doing? Let's get into this straight away. Is Beat Saber or is Blitz Rhythm better than Beat Saber? That's the big question that I'm asking today. And really, look, at the end of the day, they're both rhythm games. One is brand new and in beta, and the other has been going for a good 5 years. And what would you expect? Which one would you expect to be ahead? Not only that, but the big question, and the reason that I'm doing this stream is because the question I was asked on TikTok was, or it wasn't really a question, it was just a statement that it was a video clip of Blitz Rhythm, and it was basically, this looks like a Beat Saber clone. And look, I expect people to say that because it's a rhythm game, and just like all games there's something that's come before that is very similar, and a new skin's been put on it. And, that is what happens. That is every game. For example, I'm trying to think of one for a normal game, which would be like Uncharted is basically a copy of Tomb Raider. And you can go through this with like mainly all games. Which one was a clone of which? Was Mario a clone of Sonic, or was Sonic a clone of Mario? And they came out very similar times, so it's, it was Mario first. And you've got to ask yourself, yes, there are similar games out there. However, in my opinion, Beat Saber, for the last at least year, has basically stood still. There's been one or two downloadable content, paid packs, and that's really it. They haven't had an original soundtrack in over a year, and the majority of enhancements when it comes to Beat Saber has generally been the fact that it's been a mod from someone, and they've made a better version of something. So, for example, a lot of the maps, the good maps, a lot of the fact that twizzles of lightsabers and things like that. And let's face it, so all Beat Saber really is a rhythm game with lightsabers. Now, I would argue Blitz Rhythm is not that, and it doesn't focus on that. Blitz Rhythm focuses heavily on feet, and it's got the trackers to go with it. Now, I know what you're going to say, because I thought it too. Well, Beat Saber does this. However, it doesn't, does it? Because Beat Saber hasn't actually been developed to do that. Someone has sorted that out and fixed it so you can play it. So, like, the only way to play Beat Saber with your feet on the Quest 2 is to strap the controllers to your feet and, like, do some, magic to get it working. And obviously, the PC VR version, you can use the actual Vive trackers and such. But this isn't, Meta who have done this. This would be, people in the community who have sorted it to be able to actually play like that. And that would be where I would say Blitz Rhythm is, well, I wouldn't say ahead. It's different. It's in beta, but it is different for the fact that it has that element. And I think going forward, and this is a thing to the developers, I would really focus like heavily on a feet only mode, where you even have to try and catch some of the blocks high up. I think that would be really cool. I don't think you need to focus on your hands as well as your feet. I think they could quite easily sell it as just feet, or at least a feet-only version. Now, they've got a couple of different modes, and like I say, it's in beta, so there is time to do things where we're actually, introduce other stuff. They've already got a dance mode, they've got a rhythm mode, they've got a few others. They've got the fact that you can add your own custom tracks actually inside the game, rather than, again, having to have a mod, which, Beat Saber has struggled with recently, the fact that they're really trying to stop you using mods. And I like the fact that you potentially are going to be able to do a lot of the stuff that you can do in Beat Saber modded actually in Blitz Rhythm itself. So, is it a clone? Well, like I say, it just completely depends on your concept of a clone. Most games are a clone of something else. It's very difficult to it's really difficult to come up with a brand new game. Like I said, Beat Saber is not really an original game. It is in VR, but when you compare it to like arcade games, you could almost say it's a copy of like a Dance Dance Revolution. It is. They're all a copy of something. And, all racing games are a copy of another racing game with a slightly better improvement on something, or a slightly better, a different way of doing it. And I think that's really why I'm really enjoying Blitz Rhythm, for the fact that it is different. They have gone down a different angle, and it's not a clone. You can be taking inspiration, and I fully understand there are games out there that are basically an exact copy of something else, and that is not what this is. Yes, it's got blocks that you cut with a knife, but they're not blocks. And I know there are still objects that you cut with a knife, or with a sword, or with an axe, or with a, what was the other one? The one that a trident. That, like, there's loads of customization coming to this game that I think people are gonna really like. Let's say hello to some people in the chat first of all. Slice Page, welcome. Yes, custom tracks. So you can, and I haven't figured this out yet, and I need to speak to them. But there is an element that you can go into where it does custom tracks, and you can import your own. Now, whether you have to create a map, I don't know. Need to look into that. I'm going to look into it this week to see how complicated it is. It's also got, I don't know if it's fully available yet, but it's going to have mixed reality capture from just using your phone straight into like TikTok or YouTube. You're going to be able to mixed reality capture, very similar to what all the other games do, but rather than having to use something like Live, you're going to be able to do it from your phone with a basic, normal phone that will that's got a good enough camera. Generally, you need a good camera. My old phone didn't have a good enough camera, which is why I've never really done anything on mixed reality with it. And this has been on Pico's store for a while now. But this is another element that it's going to have where you're going to be able to, show off gameplay. And I'm going to try and sort that out with a tutorial next week where, to show you exactly how to do it. But again, this game is in beta, so it's got a long way to go. But I don't think it's that far off. I really don't. I think they could release it, but obviously they're going to have to release the trackers at the same time. Personally, I think this is a system seller. I really think that Pico if the marketing's done right, and I think if they focus, which I'll show you on second, because I think they're there with the marketing, and I think it's the right way to do it. Not that I'm saying I'm an expert in such, but for example, this image right here focuses very heavily on the feet. Yes, it has blocks that you can obviously cut with your controller, but this is focused heavily on feet and the trackers and everything to do with it. I honestly think it's a system seller, and I think if they had, or before they launch, if they have a feet only and really focus heavily on the feet only, I really think that they could do incredibly well off it. Oh, that was you guys coming into the picture. But let me know in the chat what you think. Like I say, Slice Page has put that who cares if it's a clone as long as it's as good. I have played some of the other rhythm games that haven't felt as polished as this. They haven't felt as good as this, and I really think if they launch it as is now, it's probably good enough to get interest. And I think it's just a matter of getting the trackers out at the same time. They could even do trackers and this game in a box, really like market the box experience, which I think a lot of people still miss. I still miss that, going and getting a box from like the shop to actually like, you know, open and and such. They probably need to do a bundle of the headset and the trackers. I think that's a really good point, Riley. I think they probably do need to be interesting. Be interesting to know what their plans are going forward. Whether they're going to release it all together combined, I think that would be cool. Obviously, people who've already got the headsets, it'd be really cool to have a box where it's just the trackers and the game. But yeah, I think you're right. I think if they launched, like, for example, obviously the Pico 5 is, I'm guessing, a long way down the road. We're not quite there yet. I suspect that they are more likely to launch the Pico 4 Pro. And if they launch the Pico 4 Pro with eye tracking and face tracking, can you imagine this? So, right. Can you imagine this? Not just feet, but you had elements that you had to visually look at as well at the same time, to score more points as you're going along. I think that'd be really cool. You could almost zap blocks with a blink of an eye or that kind of thing. I think it'd be really cool if they had the Pico 4 Pro when that launches with the trackers and the game. But I don't honestly know if they plan on launching the Pico 4 Pro in anywhere apart from, I think was it Asia? Was it China, or was it Japan, or was it, I don't know. I don't know how many countries it's been launched in, but I know they have launched a Pico 4 Pro, which is the Pico 4 business version. But as far as I'm aware, you can buy it. I think you can in certain countries. I would need to check on that. Slice Page, in regards to clones, yes, you are right. Most games are copies of older games. Yeah. that old game tends to be the catalyst for a new game and the inspiration. Most things are built on the shoulders of giants. I 100% agree. It's Singapore. It's Singapore who has the... Thank you very much, Slice Page. That's really helpful. Singapore have the Pico 4 Pro. It'd be really cool if they launched... Can you imagine if they launched worldwide that... I came a bit late when I was saying racing games are based on old racing games, and me being a non-gamer was like, bro, racing games have based on racing games in real life. Yeah. Well, everything's a life experience as well, isn't it? So, like, apart from... Okay, like, for example, Donkey Kong, I've never had a monkey throw barrels at me. But I can see where they got their inspiration from. A lot of games are from something. And you just have to roll with it. And I really think this is not a carbon copy of Beat Saber. This is Beat Saber 10.0 with the trackers. Obviously, I've not experienced Beat Saber with the Vive trackers because they're just so expensive, and hopefully that's another thing with when the trackers do come in, depending on the price point. I'm sort of hoping, they're a good value, so like what you'd pay for your controllers, maybe a little bit cheaper even, but it's hard to know until that actually comes about. But yeah, I just don't. It really kind of annoyed me when like that was the type of comment where it was like, yeah, it has taken inspiration. But we'd be nowhere if there was no inspiration. Pico 4 Enterprise is currently £870. Yeah, that would, I think, potentially have to come down. So if they launched a Pico 4 Pro and it was basically like the next step. So obviously, let's talk. We'll talk about this as well. Obviously, next headset to come out is the Quest 3. I put in a poll on YouTube and on Twitter. Do you want me to buy the Quest 3? And mainly a reason to compare it to the Pico 4, because honestly, looking at the specs, I don't think there's really anything in it apart from, unless you're playing standalone and all you're going to play is standalone. I really don't think there's enough to suggest that this Quest 3 is going to be just outstandingly better than the Pico 4. Yes, it's got a better chipset, but if you're using the Pico 4, for PCVR, I think that it's got some advantages. I think it's got a better field of view. From the rumours of what the Quest 3 is going to have, it's going to have a better field of view. The Quest 3 is apparently got the same as the Quest 2, which I found... I really like the Quest 2. But I find putting it on now, when you compare it to the Pico 4 and the PSVR 2, I feel enclosed a lot more because of the field of view. It's not due to the lenses, it's just the field of view. Obviously, the PlayStation VR 2 has got the Fresnel lenses, so it's not, it's not ideal. Pancake lenses are better. Again, the Quest 3 is going to have pancake lenses, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy the Quest 3 because, you need to make up your own minds, which is why I am thinking I will get it, and I'm going to see what it's like Mainly just to do a little comparison. Even though it's probably unfair to the Pico 4 in a way, I think it's going to hold its own. I really do. Which is why I'm interested in getting a Quest 3, just to see. I don't think the depth sensor is anything currently that special. I mean, it could be, if games take advantage of it well enough. You could argue the same with the Nintendo Switch and the Joy-Cons. Games could have taken advantage more of the Joy-Cons, but not many developers did. And if you're still developing for the Quest 2, you're probably not going to introduce something that's going to mean that it's not going to get sold on there. The only advantage I see with a depth sensor at the moment is this room scaling, being able to see all your objects in your room. I can see the advantage, but honestly, when I put my headsets on, I go to stationary mode. I put the little circle. I don't even put a circle around you because it already does that with stationary mode, and I just play away. I don't bother drawing stuff out and making the entire room and putting objects in it and putting my desk in it. I think I did it once with the Quest 2, and it was just like, I'm not doing this again. Like, it felt like a gimmick. So that, anyway, that's completely off topic. But I think, getting back to Blitzroom, I really think that it's got something unique that not many other games have got, and I can see a massive potential in it. I really can. I really do think that it's going to do well. Okay, Monkey. Some news about IG partnership with Meta to make an experience headset. Yes, LG. Sorry, yeah. So I've seen this. Yeah, it's gonna try and compete against the Apple headset. Honestly, if anything, going by the Quest Pro, I think there needs to be a separation between something like the Apple Vision Pro, which, I mean, looks amazing. It's going to be amazing because it's Apple. It'll do very well. It'll sell a lot because, again, it's Apple. It's got the logo, and I think it'll do incredibly well. But it's not in the same league as the Quest 3, the Pico 4, the PSVR 2, the one that HTC recently, I can't remember what it was called. That was quite an expensive one. There's no comparison. And like I said with the Quest Pro, one of my big things with the Quest Pro was I never thought it should have been named Quest. I think they should have actually named it the Rift Pro and really separated it out from the Quest series, because I think that was the big problem with people saw the price tag attached to the Quest Pro and associated it with the Quest 2, and it needed to be separate and completely just nowhere near each other. And that wasn't clear. So I think if they go down that road and they do an LG partnership, which it sounds very likely, I think they need to separate it out and really make sure that people don't associate the Quest line with that headset. I have to admit, current rumours about the Meta plans are actually putting me off the Quest 3 yet. A Quest 5 delivering what we wanted for Quest 3 in 2025. I did see something about the Quest 3 Lite being about £200. I was like, well, I don't know how they're going to do that. Like, if they manage that, it's going to have nothing in it. It's I can only imagine it would be basically the Quest 2 with a a slightly better chipset, the chipset from the Quest 3. I don't actually think 500 is expensive if you didn't have to. You're gonna have to buy a new strap because the strap's rubbish. It just is. The strap. No one keeps the straps on the Quest. And an extra bit on top is not going to make a blind bit of difference. So you're going to have to buy the strap. From what it looks like, the Quest 3 official strap is like $150 or euros, was it? I'm sure it was expensive. Or was that that might have been the dock. I think the dock was quite expensive. As soon as you start adding all these little things in that you're gonna have to buy, is the 128 gig gonna be enough? With all the new games coming out, are you gonna have to do an Apple and spend a lot more money on the extra version? Which, from the rumors, I don't know if they're true or not. But it looked like it was a 1228 and then a giant leap to 512, which was 699, which we're then getting into very, very expensive territory for the fact that if you have to buy even a custom third party strap at 60-70 quid, you're then jumping into more the £800 because the people are probably going to want to replace the face gasket or the face cover, because everyone does. No one's generally ever happy with whatever is produced. I was really happy with the Pico 4 face cover. I know I have a different one now, but as a starter, I didn't feel as though you needed to get. I know a lot of YouTubers who I don't know personally had done reviews saying that the face cover was just awful. It was like the deal breaker. It was like the end of the world. But then I thought, well, yeah, the strap on the Quest 2 really, should be a massive deal breaker, because like Slice Page says, it is basically an elastic band wrapped around your head. Probably not even as good as that, because I don't even think it get as tight as what that would. The light with no controllers, Riley says. Yeah, this is another issue that I'm curious to know about when it comes to the Quest 3. I know we've come a little off on all topic now, but we're running slightly over. But anyway, I worry about the rings. My son, especially when playing Beat Saber, of all things, holds the controller in a claw-like type thing through the loop. Obviously, you could hold it like that, but it's going to block the majority of the ring. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how good the controllers tracking-wise is. Whether it's encouragement for you then to go out and buy the Quest Pro controllers. Maybe that's what they're trying to get you to do. Maybe they'll release a Quest 3 without controllers, which is one of the rumours, so that you could then potentially buy the Pro controllers on top. Maybe they'll release a package where you can buy the Quest 3 and Pro controllers at the same time. That'd be interesting. See how much of a price jump that is. There's loads of things where you think, that'd be interesting. But when it comes to Beat Saber, I feel like it's not moved on, and Blitz Rhythm, in my opinion, smash like, if you agree with me, or from what it looks like, that it looks completely different. It doesn't look like a complete Beat Saber clone. I can see the resemblance, but it's not really. Like I said, I have seen plenty of Beat Saber actual clones, and there are some on Pico. If you go to the The web games, there is one, and this isn't it. This is not a copy. This is something else. I'd really like to see. That is one of the things that I would really like to see is the feet only version of it. That'd be so cool. Again, hit the like button if you'd like to see that as well. I have seen it jump up. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it massively. Also, if you are liking what is going on here, and you're not already subscribed, which I'm assuming you all are, a shameless plug. Subscribe. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I appreciate you all, guys. Thank you for showing up. For next week, going to be doing the same again. Talking about something else. A quick mention, and I forgot to do it. I might do a quick video on it later on. There are 3 games that have come out on the Pico store. You can go and check my website out. It's got them listed. One of which looks absolutely mental. I like the look of it. What are they in it? So we have Fire Escape, Containment Initiative Recon, and this is the mad one, Mr. Bear's Blizzard Adventure. That looks like a lot of fun. You want to check that one out in the store, if you like those kind of stupid games like I do. That looks like it could be insane. And I am going to try and get some gameplay videos out. It's just it's hard because I film a lot of gameplay and then decide that I don't actually like the gameplay footage, or I don't like the way I've done it. It's not that the game is rubbish, it's that the way I've presented it, I don't feel like you guys would appreciate it. But I might just start putting them out anyway and see what you think. But I'll be asking for likes, because I'll not because the algorithm enjoys it, more for the fact that my ego it makes me realise whether you like it or not. And it's not about making an algorithm somewhere. It's about you guys and making sure that you are liking the content that's coming out. So I appreciate you all very much for showing up. This is the 3rd week. I feel like it's getting better. I feel like it's getting slowly bigger. We're getting more people in. We're getting more likes in. And I appreciate you all. Really. Thanks a lot, guys. Catch me in the next one. Goodbye.